The Kodak Charmera is back for 2026 with the new Millennium Edition camera. But which one is right for you, this new version or the original? Keep watching and find out. Hey, it's Matt Loves Cameras. I've been a big fan of the Kodak Charmera ever since it was released in late 2025. And in this video, we're going to look at the differences and similarities between the two models of the Kodak Charmera. So whether you're thinking about buying your first Charmera camera, or if you already have the original and you're thinking, do I buy the Millennium Edition or not? This is the video to watch. I'm going to tell you everything you need to know. So let's start off by looking at the design of these cameras. So of course the original Charmeras came out with this very strong 1987 branding. And of course one of the designs here, the yellow one, looked very much like the Kodak Fling, which was a disposable camera from the 1980s. All of the original designs here have this very iconic 80s retro Kodak branding. And so yeah, I absolutely love these. And the fact that they were sold in blind boxes was absolute genius by the marketing department at Kodak Rito. And of course there was a 1 in 48 chance of you getting that transparent one. Unfortunately, I bought a whole box of 6 and yeah, I didn't get it. But I really love my yellow original Charmera. So with the new Millennium Edition of the camera, we fast forward from 1987 all the way to the year 2000, and we get this beautiful range of very sort of metallic looking cameras here with a new design. Really love all these new colors. I was hoping for the pink one. I got the green one. The green one's fabulous though. Unfortunately, once again, I had that 1 in 48 chance of getting that special silver edition. I didn't get it. So the first decision point on which one you choose is of course the look of the camera. For me personally, I think the original Charmeras do have a certain classic retro look. I really love them, and I think they've kind of got the edge over this new Millennium Edition in terms of looks. What you get in the box with each camera is very similar. Of course you get the collector's card, which has a picture of your Charmera on, which is super cool. You turn it over and of course there's a QR code there linking to the Kodak Rito website where there's a PDF user guide on how to use the camera. It is kind of brief though. It's worth reading, but it is kind of short. But if you want a much more in-depth guide to how to use the Charmera, make sure you check out my videos here on Matt Loves Cameras YouTube, because I go into a lot more detail and I give you a lot of tips and tricks. Of course, you also get your Charmera camera, you get a keyring, and of course you get a little cable here. And the final thing you get is a nice little brochure showing you all the different Charmeras in each range, and it gives you a bit of a preview there of the filters and frames and the 12 different looks that you can get with each camera. The next thing to look at is the specifications for each camera. Now when people heard there was a new Charmera, they got very excited and said, wow, is there going to be a jump in quality from 1987 to the 2001? It'll have more megapixels and more bigger dimension photos. No, it's exactly the same. So here you have on screen, you have all of the specs of the original Charmera and the Millennium Edition. And as you can see here, everything is exactly the same. Now, just because the specs aren't any better than the original, it doesn't mean that the Millennium Edition isn't worth buying. As you're going to see here, as I take you through the filters and frames, it's got a lot of new surprises up its sleeve. And so it's definitely worth considering. Now let's look at the photo quality between these two cameras. So I've taken a series of photos with both the original Charmera and the Millennium Edition, and now we're going to look through them and just have a look for very, very subtle differences between the cameras. This first set of images is the most dramatic. Check out the greens in that original picture there, and check them out there in the Millennium Edition image. They are much more saturated and contrasty with the Millennium camera. The same thing here with the sweet potatoes, although the difference probably isn't quite as obvious, but definitely more contrast and saturation for the Millennium camera. With these ferns, it is a little bit more subtle, but I do think I prefer the greens here with the Millennium camera on the right. And another sort of subtle difference here between the colors of that road there, sort of slightly darker and more contrasty with the Millennium camera. Next up is an image of a historic building in Brisbane. Check out those blues there at the top. They are much nicer there with the Millennium camera. Now let's take a look at a couple of sets of black and white photos, and it is subtle, but you can definitely see that with the Millennium camera it has a punchier look, more contrast, and those blacks are definitely deeper there with the newer version of the camera. Now with the warm tone and the cool tone images, I don't think the difference is as noticeable, although the Millennium one, once again, it has higher contrast and sort of richer, deeper blacks. Now for the filters and frames, and we're going to talk firstly about the pixel filters. So with the original Charmera, we had 4 duochrome pixel filters. That's where you took a photo and everything in the scene was either yellow and black, red and black, blue and black, or gray and black. And so these were really super cool filters. It's probably the thing that I love the most about the original Charmera. And yeah, it gave you these really arty, really interesting kind of images. Now it's great to see that the pixel filters are back with the Millennium Edition camera, but this time they're not duochrome. They're multicolored pixel filters, and these just look outstanding. I absolutely love these. For me, this is a reason enough. Even if you've got the original Charmera, this is reason enough for you to buy the Millennium Edition. They just give a bit more depth to the image. If you're taking photos sometimes with the original Charmera, sometimes with the pixel filters, it was hard to actually see what it was. But with these new multicolored ones, you just get more variations of light and shade. And I'm a really big fan of them, so I think they look super cool. And lastly, with the Millennium Edition Charmera, of course, you get 4 new frames, which is great. Of course, the original Charmera had 4 frames. We've got 4 updated frames here. Now let's take a look at a series of photos that I've taken with both Charmeras. I've cycled through the 12 different looks of each camera with the same subject matter. And the subject matter is an old photographic muse of mine. It's an old abandoned building called Graham's Tyre Service on the Bayside of Brisbane. I've taken so many photos of this building on film and digital cameras. So here we go, let's take a look. It's going to give you a feel for each of the filters and frames and looks of both cameras. Now let's talk about the video and audio quality of the Charmeras. Now we saw there right at the start, the specifications for the cameras are exactly the same, and that is pretty much translated into the video and audio quality. Really, there is not much difference at all between the video and audio quality of these two cameras. Now, of course, when you're recording video, you can only record in that standard default color profile. And there is a slight difference, ever so slight difference. I would say that the video of the Millennium Edition, it is slightly brighter and saturation looks slightly better. The original one just looks a little bit more maybe washed out and a little bit more vintage looking, which kind of goes along with the image quality that I was talking about earlier with that standard look from the digital photos. Other than that though, other than that very slight color grading difference between the original and the Millennium, everything else is the same, the quality is the same, and the audio is the same. Let's take a look at some examples. First up is a train arriving. Followed by some video shot out the side of a train. Here is a little fountain in my pool. And finally, recording in a quiet room. This footage is taken on the Kodak Charmera Millennium Edition. And this footage is taken on the original Charmera in a quiet room. Can you see many differences between the two? So I've had a few people ask, is the video and audio better with the Millennium Edition camera? No, in my tests, it is exactly the same. So there you go, what did you think of my comparison between the original Charmera and the Millennium Edition Charmera? I would love to know. Please give this video a thumbs up, leave a comment below and give me a subscribe as well. I would really appreciate it. As for me, look, in terms of image quality, there's only a very slight difference. It's most noticeable with the standard default digital image on both Charmeras. The Millennium Edition is just a little bit brighter and the colors look a little bit better. Other than that, look, I think it comes down to the look of each camera, whether you like the designs of each camera, and also which pixel filters and which frames you like. If you've got the original Charmera and you're thinking about this new Millennium version, look, I think there is enough there to get you interested. For just $35 US, I think you'll have a lot of fun with it. Those new filters and frames in particular are fantastic. And yeah, I would definitely recommend picking up the Millennium Edition version as well. If you don't have a Charmera yet and you're not sure which one to get, well, I hope this video has helped you out. I can't really decide for you, but I hope seeing all the different looks and the different filters and frames, I hope that's given you a better idea of what you can expect from each one. Now, if you'd like to see more of those Millennium Edition pixel filters and frames, make sure you check out this video on the screen here at the moment. I walk you through each of the different filters and frames, and I tell you how to get the best shots using each one of them. That's it for this time. See you next time. Cheerio. Bye-bye.